Unfortunately, the argument is because of the government shutdown, this data was never released. It doesn't make much sense for the politics of the day to sabotage the progress of science.
A mysterious rock from beyond the stars, racing through our solar system. Could this frozen traveler be natural or something built with purpose? In 2025, astronomers found 3I Atlas, a visitor not from our sun, but from deep interstellar space. It began quietly on a cold July night in Chile. Inside the Atlas Survey Telescope, a faint streak appeared against the velvet black, moving too fast, too precise. Astronomers zoomed, recalculated, and froze. This was no ordinary comet. Its orbit refused to obey the sun's gravity. Instead, it followed a hyperbolic path, the unmistakable fingerprint of something not born here. They named it 3I Atlas, marking the third confirmed interstellar visitor in human history. The first was Oumuamua in 2017, a cigar-shaped enigma that defied every model. The second, 2I/Borisov, is a comet-like traveler from another star. And now this, a new messenger, ancient and silent, speeding toward our inner planets. To the scientists watching, it felt like seeing a message drift in from the cosmic ocean, written long before the sun itself was born. An emissary from elsewhere, a traveler carrying secrets no human had ever touched. Speed. That was the first clue that something extraordinary was happening. 3I Atlas tore through the solar system at 210,000 to 245,000 kilometers per hour, faster than anything we've ever seen move under the sun's light. That's nearly 70 kilometers every second. No planet, no asteroid, no comet in our records had moved this way. And it wasn't small. Initial readings placed it between 5 and 20 kilometers across, a behemoth compared to Oumuamua's narrow shape or Borisov's icy fragment. If this were a normal interstellar rock, it should have been nearly impossible to detect at such a distance. Which raises the question, if we can see this one, how many others are silently slipping through our solar system unseen? Every few centuries, perhaps thousands of interstellar travelers sweep through our space, messengers from forgotten star systems, their paths random, their chemistry ancient. But 3I Atlas stood out. Larger, faster, stranger. It was as if it had been launched or flung with intent. At that moment, astronomers realized this wasn't just another comet. It was a chance to study a relic of another world, maybe even another civilization. Now the traveler was inbound. Its path threaded past the giants of our solar system, brushing the orbits of Venus, Mars, and Jupiter, before diving sunward at its closest approach. The point known as perihelion, 3I Atlas would swing within 1.44 astronomical units of the sun, roughly 210 million kilometers. Far enough to be safe, close enough to shine. For Earth, there was no threat. Its nearest pass would be a comfortable 1.8 astronomical units away, ensuring safety but also distance. A bittersweet fact for scientists craving a closer look. Still, telescopes across the planet locked on. The Hubble, Gemini South, and dozens of amateur observers watched as sunlight began to awaken its frozen core. Gas, dust, a faint trail glowing like a scar across the darkness. It looked alive, an ancient iceberg of rock and ice, brushing past our inner planets before vanishing into the dark. Its journey would last only weeks, a brief encounter in human time, but a billion-year story for the object itself. And as it turned around the sun, the world began asking one question: what exactly is 3I Atlas? Even before sunlight could truly warm it, 3I Atlas came alive. From a distance where most comets lie dormant and silent, astronomers watched something impossible: the faint shimmer of an awakening coma. Normally a comet's coma, that halo of gas and dust, forms only when it approaches the sun, its ice is vaporizing under heat. But 3I Atlas began outgassing far too early. Long before reaching any region of intense solar radiation, it was as if something deep within it wanted to breathe, to reveal itself. Telescopes across the world, including the Gemini South Observatory in Chile and the Hubble Space Telescope, captured the moment their images showed a glowing envelope forming around the nucleus, expanding with each passing week and brightening despite the cold. Scientists were stunned. What kind of chemistry could make this object so reactive, so alive, in the dark void between the stars? Some suggested a fragile mix of exotic ices, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, and methane, that vaporize more easily than water ice. Others whispered that this hyperactivity could point to something stranger, a composition never seen before. Whatever the cause, 3I Atlas wasn't just visiting our solar system, it was announcing its presence in a way no interstellar traveler ever had. When the James Webb Space Telescope turned its golden mirrors toward 3I Atlas, it revealed a chemical signature unlike anything known. Infrared spectroscopy revealed a shocking ratio, CO2 to H2O, 8:1. That's one of the highest carbon dioxide concentrations ever observed in a comet-like object. For comparison, typical comets in our solar system are dominated by water ice. Their CO2 levels rarely rise beyond 20% of that total. But here, carbon dioxide ruled. This single ratio tells a deep story about where 3I Atlas was born. It may have formed in the frigid outskirts of another star system, where sunlight never reached, and volatile compounds like CO2 condensed freely. Or perhaps its parent star emitted a different spectrum of radiation, shaping chemistry in ways our own sun never could. Scientists studying the Webb data found no clear analog in known comets. Its spectral fingerprints hinted at amorphous ice, untouched by stellar heat for billions of years. Matter older than our sun itself. Astrophysicist Dr. Michelle Bannister summarized the revelation. Its chemistry tells us how other star systems build worlds, under rules that don't apply here. To Webb's instruments, 3I Atlas wasn't just a comet, it was a cosmic sample, a frozen fragment of alien chemistry carrying the blueprint of another solar nursery across interstellar space. Then came the strangest readings of all, as scientists studied 3I Atlas's light polarization, how its reflected light scatters. They found an impossible number, -2.7% at a 7-degree phase angle. No comet in our solar system had ever shown this kind of negative polarization. It meant the surface was behaving differently, maybe covered in microscopic metallic grains or an unusual texture that absorbed and twisted light in alien ways. Adding to the puzzle, instruments detected traces of nickel, far more than expected, along with spectral hints of silicates polished smoother than typical cosmic dust. Something didn't add up. Was this just a new class of interstellar object, one shaped by conditions far beyond our imagination? Or could it be something else entirely, a fragment of technology masquerading as stone? The idea seems wild, but then again, so did Oumuamua. And when a rock from another star behaves unlike any natural body we've ever seen, even the most grounded scientists begin to wonder. 3I Atlas was no longer just a comet, it had become a cosmic question mark, one that might challenge everything we know about what drifts between the stars. As debates over 3I Atlas's strange properties spread, one name reappeared: Professor Avi Loeb of Harvard University. The same astrophysicist who once proposed that the first interstellar visitor, Oumuamua, might have been an alien light sail, returned with a new question. Could 3I Atlas also be artificial? Loeb pointed to several red flags. First, its unusual acceleration patterns, subtle shifts in speed that don't perfectly fit solar heating models. Second, its composition, a carbon dioxide-rich body behaving unlike any known comet. And third, its reflectivity, a measure of how much sunlight it bounces back. Some readings hinted at smooth, possibly metallic textures, unlike porous rock or ice. In Loeb's view, nature rarely builds such objects. He suggested that 3I Atlas could be a piece of alien technology, perhaps a fragment of a long-lost probe, or debris from an ancient galactic civilization that launched countless interstellar explorers long before humanity learned to walk upright. But most of the scientific community remains cautious. Loeb's claims, while bold, are not peer-reviewed and rest on incomplete data. Researchers argue that exotic chemistry and light scattering can emerge from natural processes, and that extraordinary claims demand extraordinary evidence. Yet his theory keeps one essential flame alive: curiosity. Because every time something defies expectation, science must ask not just what it is, but why it behaves the way it does. So even as skeptics insist 3I Atlas is nothing more than an icy comet from another star, a quiet question lingers in the cosmic silence. What if we've already met our first alien probe and didn't recognize it? If 3I Atlas, or any interstellar object, were truly artificial, how would we know? Astronomers have clear checklists for identifying potential technological artifacts. First, they'd scan for radio transmissions, narrowband, or repeating signals that nature cannot produce. Next, they'd search for maneuvering, course corrections that defy gravity or radiation pressure, as if the object were steering itself. They'd also analyze thermal emissions, waste heat, or power signatures that machines often leak, and if such an object suddenly entered stable orbit around a planet or moon, it would raise instant alarms. No natural comet does that. So far, 3I Atlas has shown none of these signs. No radio signals, no propulsion, no deliberate motion. It travels on a ballistic, predictable path. A silent wanderer obeying physics, not intention. But its mystery has given scientists a blueprint. Each new interstellar visitor will now be observed with sharper eyes, broader sensors, and an open mind. Because if one of them ever does show those telltale signs of control, it won't just rewrite textbooks. It will prove that we were never alone in the first place. Before we dismiss the idea of alien probes as fantasy, we should remember this. We've already built our own out there in the black, far beyond Pluto. 4 silent messengers carry our story: Voyager 1, Voyager 2, Pioneer 10, and Pioneer 11. Launched in the late 20th century, these spacecraft were humanity's first attempts to touch the stars. Each one carries fragments of who we are: golden records, plaques, and instruments designed to outlast every monument on Earth. They drift now in interstellar space, powered down but enduring, small metal seeds of civilization that will wander for billions of years. And that's the haunting thought. If we, a young species from a small blue planet, can already send emissaries across the void, then why couldn't someone else have done the same eons ago? Perhaps 3I Atlas is just frozen rock, or perhaps, like our Voyagers, it's a message in a bottle, launched long before we learned how to listen. Every day, 3I Atlas becomes brighter, its coma expands, its tail stretches, a luminous thread against the black. As it plunges toward the sun, telescopes from Hawaii to Chile lock onto it, measuring every flicker of light. This is the final approach astronomers have waited for years. Once it rounds the sun, it may never be visible again, fading into the glare and then into eternity. The perihelion, its closest point to the sun, about 1.44 astronomical units, is a cosmic deadline. Each passing hour reveals new data: gas composition, dust emission, and energy flux. It's a race between discovery and disappearance. Scientists call it a now or never moment, the last chance to decode a traveler from another star before it slips back into interstellar night. Because once 3I Atlas fades, we'll never see this exact object again, just a trail of numbers, and the memory of something that came and left no trace. 3I Atlas is more than a comet. It's a mirror, reflecting our endless hunger to understand the universe and our place within it. Even if it's just frozen rock and dust, its journey speaks to something deeply human: curiosity without borders. We look at this traveler and see ourselves, small, fragile, and yet determined to explore the infinite. It may not be an alien probe, but it has achieved what all great mysteries do. It has made us wonder again, to question what might drift between the stars and whether someone somewhere is doing the same, looking outward, hoping to be found. In a galaxy filled with billions of worlds, 3I Atlas reminds us that we're part of a shared cosmic story, one where even silence has meaning, and every fragment of ice could carry the echo of another sun science measures. Philosophy asks, but wonder is what drives us forward. 3I Atlas may soon fade into the black, but its message remains clear. The universe still has stories we've barely begun to hear. Keep watching the skies, stay curious, and subscribe for more cosmic mysteries. Because sometimes truth begins where imagination dares to ask, what if?